Credit card debt's at an all-time high of $1 trillion. And we're all wondering why we're broke. Fighting, and we're trying to fight inflation.
Are people broke? That's what I want to know.
They're not. Well, their consumer spending is way up. So if they are broke, they don't seem to care very much.
I see such conflicting studies.
I know.
Some
it doesn't
have
seem
more
like
money than they ever have. There's $6 trillion right now sitting in money market funds and in cash and treasuries, more than ever. But it also seems like anecdotally you hear stories of people who are doing worse than ever. But statistically, it seems like people are better off today overall than they were in 2019.
Well, I mean, America is an amazing country. So even a bad day for us is a great day for any other country. So we're just so spoiled. And there's a lot of entitlement here. And people have great incomes. People like to complain, but most people have great incomes. It's not an income problem. It's an expense problem. We see this. People making six figures are still living paycheck to paycheck, the data shows. So that tells me it's not that you just make more money and your problems are solved. You just have lifestyle creep happen. And, you make $100,000, you're going to spend $120,000. And that compounds over time, causing a lot of people to feel broke regardless of their income.
So what do you think of the long-term consequences of this? If people aren't saving up for retirement, maybe it's like this younger generation that wants that instant gratification.
Well, they don't want to wait 30 years to tap into a 401k piggy bank.
What do you think is going to happen in the future then to these people? Because this seems like it's a huge population of people that are doing this.
Yeah, well, I think the younger generations, in a lot of ways, are way smarter than our parents' generation. Like the fact that they have access to all this information is amazing. The problem is there's so many more traps out there. And I've always said, if you follow the trends, you're going to follow the traps. Our parents didn't have options. It was you put money into your retirement account and that's it. Nowadays, it's like, do I do single stocks? Do I get into crypto? Do I do real estate? The options are so overwhelming that there's this, paralysis by analysis, and people either don't do anything or they do a bunch of things but don't really make progress in any of it. And so that's what I'm worried about with the next generations, is that they're not focused. And there's no consistency over time. And you guys know, like, building wealth is consistently your dollar cost averaging into the S&P 500 over time. It's the boring move, but it's the one that consistently will cause you to build wealth.
See, I just think it's so much easier for people who pay attention to get ahead, just because so many people are not and just give in to whatever they desire in the moment. Like, I think it's easier than ever. If you put your head down and you want to stay disciplined, you're going to get ahead very easily.
Oh, and that's the thesis of the book is like, people say the little man can't get ahead. It's harder than ever in America today. Inflation, the housing market, and the guy in the White House. And what I've found is you can get ahead in America today if you just follow a really simple, boring, unsexy, controversial upstream path of getting out of debt, staying out of debt, have an emergency fund, invest 15% into proven things like the stock market over a long period of time, pay off your dang house and don't hang on to it in retirement with a second mortgage and a HELOC on it, and you're going to be okay. And that's regardless of income. Whether you make $40,000 or $400,000, if you follow those principles, you will be okay. But most people want to make it more complicated. They think they're smarter than that. There's pride, there's fear, there's greed, and it causes us to make really unwise decisions. And then people call into the show at 60 going, I'm screwed, what do I do? And it's just harder at 60 to undo some of those decisions.
So that, in the simplest terms, would be your advice to make any viewer watching right now a millionaire.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people out there are saying, well, leveraging debt is a part of building wealth. And while some people have done that, the majority of people will go broke faster. And so to me, getting out of debt and using your powerful wealth building tool, your income, is your best path to wealth.
So what's the difference between people who leverage debt successfully and make money versus those who do not and lose money?
Well, there's different types, like leveraging a real estate debt, for example, versus trying to leverage something else like margin or options calls in the stock market. Like that stuff is insane risk. Jack.
Don't do it.
And Jack can tell you all about losing lots of money.
I got margin.
So there's different types of debt leverage out there. Yeah. But a lot of the difference is luck and timing, if you're going to be honest, of like people who have done it well or successfully, or even looking at crypto. It's like people didn't know what crypto was going to do or is going to do. So the ones that have become millionaires, it wasn't because they were so brilliant.
I think it's a really small population of people, though. I think it's education that's the main differentiating factor between those who leverage debt properly and those who do it poorly.
Yeah, there's a lot of education. There's strategy involved. I've just found for the average person, there's a 100% success rate if you get out of debt and do it my way versus a 7% success rate leveraging debt this way. And so to me, I'm all about what is your surest best path. It may be slower, but you'll get there.